while you're at it, make me taller. All right, meat sacks. Let's get to work.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I had a blast with this film. It was so much fun, and one of my favorite scenes is, of course, the singing scene with M3GAN and Gemma. Without giving any spoilers, what was it like to shoot that scene, and what was your reaction to learning what the song was? Because it was amazing.
Well, it was, I mean, shooting that scene was incredible. Obviously, being like up close to her performance was uncanny, and watching as they dialed it in and developed it with every element that has to go right for a scene like that to be executed well. The song was something that was a topic of discussion as we were developing the movie, and obviously we needed to pick just the perfect thing. But I mean, her execution was brilliant. She did such a good job.
I didn't think anything could top Titanium, but here we are.
No, I thought it was, I mean, I think also because of the emotional stakes at the moment, again, without giving anything away, it is so grounded in what everyone's going through at that point in the movie, and you know, that in and of itself is feels pretty special.
Absolutely. Well, what I love is that M3GAN definitely packs more of a punch in this film. So for both of you guys, could you see M3GAN becoming maybe our next favorite superhero? And if so, who would you want to see her battle off against? Maybe a supervillain?
I feel like it's a tough one because honestly,
she's not a superhero. I don't think so.
But she also like
she
is and she isn't. Yeah, she kind of just like always is. But she defies genre, I think. Like, honestly, what Gerard did so beautifully in the first movie is establish this like super unique tone with these very unique characters. Obviously, like essentially the lead of the movie is a robot, and so a humanoid robot as your lead gives you permission to do all kinds of things. And the tone of the first movie, extrapolated into different genres, is like the magic trick of this universe, I think. So in the first movie, we're in a kind of grounded, like, horror, thriller, comedy world, and now we're in an action movie. And, like, where will we go next? I don't know. But we know that she's going to be consistent, and we'll just continue to be her fierce self.
Definitely. Always fierce. That's what M3GAN is all the time.
Your side eyes to her are very funny. You're just
I'm like I'm so used to acknowledging like everyone in the room, and I'm like, hey girl,
no,
what's
you're right.
up?
That's exactly the way to handle her this year.
So definitely there's no short of action in this film, and Allison, you definitely get to pack a punch as well. So what was it like preparing for those fighting scenes?
Well, I didn't have to learn a whole martial art like Violet
Yes,
did.
you were definitely kicking some butt.
Oh, thank you. It was so fun getting to practice that. The stunt team is incredible, and we could not have done that without them.
No, that's so true. Ike and his entire team were amazing. Yeah, I learned how to I learned boxing. I did physical training, all of this stuff. I just did, my reason for that was I just didn't want to get hurt. You know, I'm not as bendy and youthful and rubber bandy as the younger members of as Amy and Violet.
I got to learn Aikido.
Yeah, she fully learned Aikido. It was really cool to suddenly find these characters who are just like normal people in the first movie in an action movie. It was really fun.
For sure, and the skills will carry on forever. I hope you don't have to use them, but it's always good to be prepared.
I'm ready.
Redirecting violence in a positive direction.
Yeah, definitely. Now, of course, this film leans on a lot of AI. So for both of you guys, is there any maybe quality of AI that actually scares you in real life, or you're maybe like, this is just too good? Too good that it's bad.
I don't think in real life, but I think like a human robot has kind of always gave me like uncanny vibes for sure, because I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, I don't even want to think about it. It's definitely creepy, but I also think AI is kind of cool as well, which is why I think it's.
I know, it's that double-edged sword, I think, or paper cutter, so to speak. I feel like the thing that is so specific about AI is that it is both helpful and uncanny. You know, anytime like you get the sense that it's your phone's listening to you and it serves ads for something that you were just talking about.
Or even thinking.
Yeah,
I know.
No,
well,
that's
just, that I always am just like, I'm so predictable, like either demographically or me as a human. But I did recently ask ChatGPT to like write a paragraph about what they think they know about me. And luckily it wasn't like super, I feel like I've kept good boundaries with ChatGPT, like to this point.
Talking to it every day, you know?
Yeah, but asking it mostly, it was like, the picture it painted was so boring. It was like, you live on the East Coast and you are like you like beige and you have a toddler who you're worried about all the time. And I was like, yeah, I guess those things are true. I don't.
She's getting more powerful. Soon she'll be the most dangerous weapon on the planet. Put me in a body and I'll help you stop her.
You remember what happened last time. You threatened to rip out my tongue and put me in a wheelchair.
I was upset.
Hi, Gerard. I had
Hi.
so much fun watching this movie. And one thing I loved is that M3GAN definitely packs more punches in this. So how did you decide on this new story for her? And when did you realize she could go full action mode?
Well, it just felt like, the first movie just really only scratched the surface of what she could do. And to me, it just seemed like an obvious thing that we've just got to go bigger and just, come up with a formidable villain for her to go against. And yeah, it's just the reaction to the first movie was so big and bonkers, it just felt like it deserved a bonkers sequel.
You definitely executed that. And you brought up a formidable villain, which Amelia definitely is. So what can we expect from her, and how does she challenge M3GAN in this movie?
Well, for what Amelia reminds people of is that for all M3GAN's faults, at least she kind of had a code. Like, she had an objective to protect Katie. I mean, she went to some pretty dark, means to do it. But Amelia doesn't have that. She's not born into a family. She's almost like an abused orphan in a way. So all she's got is kind of animosity, towards the human race. And so, that creates a fun circumstance for, Gemma and us to kind of turn to, M3GAN as our only hope, which is fun.
Yeah, definitely. And how would you say Amelia challenges M3GAN?
Well, she's literally built with military grade hardware, and she's built to do this job, whereas M3GAN's a toy.
Yeah.
So M3GAN has to really step up, but the hope is that M3GAN has the years and the experience on the clock that Amelia doesn't.
Now, M3GAN has so many different looks in this movie that are so amazing. So how did you decide on creating these different looks and creating what M3GAN 2.0 actually looked like?
Well, yeah, it's funny that, it was obviously a bold step even changing the costume at all, because the first one was so iconic, but it just made no sense for her to be in the same outfit, because she was designed as a toy. So if she's going to be doing all of these things in the real world, we've got to think of other things she can wear. And that's why I got Gerard Johnstone on board, who designed the costumes for a lot of great shows and films. But Holston was one that I was just like, the costumes are so good. So good. Yeah, so I got her on board, and her and I worked really closely. M3GAN has a particular style, in terms of her new outfit. She kind of, even though she's this marvel of modern technology, there's a timelessness and a classicness to her. So, it was always Audrey Hepburn and, those starlets from the 50s for the first movie. And now in with this outfit, it's like, I think Gerard sort of like stepped her into the 60s a little bit. Yeah. So she has a little bit more swagger, and she's a little bit more, she's grown a few inches. So she's, so yeah, but, the cyberpunk outfit as well was really fun to design, and that was obviously very anime inspired. And also she has this incredible cat suit at the end. It was just really fun. It's like, on the first movie we didn't really get to play dress-ups at all, but on this movie we do.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this movie just takes her to a whole new level. I think she's my next favorite action star. In my mind, I was like, can she go toe-to-toe with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I think so. She can take his job.
Literally.
I hear he's leaving. So,
exactly, Final Reckoning. But could you see M3GAN as maybe our next favorite superhero? And if so, maybe a supervillain you might want to see her face off against?
Oh, yeah. No, I would love that. In terms of supervillain, I don't know, but definitely it has to be someone as formidable as Ivana was, as Amelia. Yeah.